Welcome to the show. We are creators. We come together and we want to talk about YouTube and vlogging and just take a break from our own channels to collaborate. If you're new here and you like this idea, just click that subscribe button. You can check out a lot more. And if you are a creator and you want to be more into the conversation and part of our group, join our Facebook group, which is facebook.com/group/creatorcast. My name is Danny Black from the channel Where is Danny Black? Could be When is Danny Black? Here's Danny. I don't know. Just a fun we talked about on Hey We're Talking. And I'll be hosting today's show, and joining me is my fellow co-host Ben on from Gives a Minute.
Hey,
and
folks.
he's down in Culborough Beach, which is I'm sure a lot of people don't know where that is. So Ben on, where is Culborough Beach? Or a beach? How do you say
Culborough
it?
Beach, it's about 2.5 hours south of Sydney, the main city of the country, Australia. And we are on the coast. Literally, the beach is right there from my doorstep, but it's too cold to use right now. I'm a big fat
We've
wuss.
seen that.
It's
We've
cold.
seen your beach so many times. It's a beautiful
Yeah.
beach.
Who was that, by the way?
Yes,
Have we
wait,
introduced our special
wait,
guest?
who's talking? Hey,
Hey, who's
Oh, I'm
talking?
not
wait,
supposed
hold
to
on.
talk yet.
Wait.
I'm sorry.
Scott, can you cover your camera
Yeah, totally.
with your thumb?
Yeah.
You should leave this bit
and
in, by the way.
Yeah, so we're very professional, and this is just part of the process. So I wanted to talk about a special guest that we have on, and I love having special guests on this. I think it's really cool to get inside their head and get some vlogger
Sneaky
therapy
little devil.
And one of the it's really interesting how I met these guys. They contacted me and they were like, "Hey, we have this podcast going," and they were at like 100 subscribers. Now they're at like 30,000 or something. Like by the time this airs, that's how popular they're gonna be. So they had me on their show, and it was great. And I'm hooked. I love it, and I watch it every time they bring one out. And Ben, on, would you say the same?
Absolutely, yeah.
You're on it too.
I pushed
you're hooked
for
on
the
it?
1 hour episodes because I enjoy having it sitting next to me while I'm editing, having theirs playing. I know you like the half an hour episodes. I pushed for the 1 hour ones. I love that long format, but we can talk about that. But I do love Hey We're Talking.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we introduce the guest. Actually, let's make him sweat a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because he was naughty for a little bit.
Yeah.
And Ben, on how's it going for you? What's been going on?
I'm loving it, man. Like I said before, it's in the winter in Australia. It's just a hard time for me to make content. Hey Siri, what's the temperature?
It's 11 degrees outside.
She even says, "Buh, it's 11 degrees." So for me to make my snorkel videos, which is what makes my channel grow, it's kind of difficult at the moment. I have a couple of things in the works, which I'm not going to talk about yet, but it is too cold to get outside and do stuff. I'm in hibernation mode right now.
Yeah, it's cold up here where I'm at in Brisbane. It's 61 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 16 degrees Celsius centigrade Celsius. We'll talk about that too as
I
we
like
as
how
we
you
go.
do that.
And
16 Celsius is 61 Fahrenheit, but any other way
I know it,
doesn't work, right?
flips. It's perfect.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
What is
It's
with
like-
that?
and
0
it's- yeah.
degrees Celsius is not the freezing point. What's the freezing point of water in Fahrenheit?
32 degrees.
Get
32
outta
degrees,
here.
and
That's
the reason that's
stupid
confusing
idea.
to you is because
It should be 0.
it's a stupid. You watch a video about it because it's about the mercury and the way it reacts. They had to have it at a certain. There's videos that explain it.
When this
You know,
thing
I'll link
gets
one at the bottom
gets
just
frozen,
because-
it's 0 degrees. That's how I like numbers. They start at something, they go up, and they come back down. When that becomes
Yes,
a solid, it's 0. Easy. Sorry.
That's how it is, and that's how it is. That's how it is everywhere in the world except for America, which is where our guest is located at. So, Scott, why don't you reveal yourself?
There I am. Okay.
Were you
Man, that
sweating
was
hard there,
painful,
Scott?
dude. No, I wasn't sweating, but my arm was like, I was like, that's kind of an awkward position
Could see
to
it
keep your
wobbling.
hand in for that whole time. I was moving a little bit. That's just because I'm an old man, though.
By the way, this is Scott Donnelly from the channel Hey We're Talking. He is in North Carolina. What
South.
city? South
Carolina.
South Carolina.
I'm originally
And,
from
you-
Michigan, though, so I'm not really a true South Carolinian. I'm
Yes,
from
and,
Michigan.
and I'm from Michigan as well. And I knew Scott back in the day. We did church together.
Yeah. Well, you were
Yeah.
like a kid, though, and I was like sort
Yeah.
of an adult.
Sort of an adult. He was
Nothing
a
much
youth
has
group
changed
leader.
there.
Exactly.
Scott, Scott has an interesting channel. It's Hey We're Talking, and it's him and a couple of his friends. Just like that Family Guy episode I showed you.
All right, you guys, podcast time. We got the equipment and the perfect business plan. Give our show away for free and tell no one how to find it.
They have a YouTube channel, and they have their shows on like every podcast app that you can get on, which I'm not convinced is the best thing in the world to do, but
I have no idea if it's good or not. We get more people listening on podcasts than we do on YouTube, though. So, and we put the show on Facebook also.
And on YouTube, when I said they have 30,000 subscribers, that's not necessarily
That's
true.
wishful
I think they
thinking.
actually almost have 200.
Let me check right now,
it's
and I'll tell
actually
you.
really sad to me because they work their tails off. They put a lot of hard-earned thoughts.
Well, we don't put
into
hard-earned
their
thoughts
talking.
out there, but we do a show every week, and right now we're at 199 subscribers on YouTube.
So close.
So close. And once you get to 200, it just
Oh
flies.
yeah,
It's
then
so
that's when
easy.
it really takes off.
It's so
right?
easy. It doubles like every day.
I could tick that over right now with one of my other channels, but it would
be fake.
It'd be a
It
false
wouldn't-
subscribe.
Do
You
it.
know, like
Do
I,
it.
I could do with Scenic Beers or with the other one, Vlogging in Public, but that would be a fake
I
sub.
want a
so
real.
I
I want
don't
a
wanna do
real
that.
sub. I like that. Don't give me a fake
Yeah.
one. I'd rather have somebody that actually wants to watch it. But it's
Yeah.
difficult. The YouTube thing is difficult for people because if they think, oh, I'm just going to be watching a podcast, they think, oh, this is going to be boring. But the thing is, I try to tell people, and I was talking to Danny about this. When I try to talk it up, like Derek always craps all over it. Like I'll be like, yeah, I think they should watch us on YouTube because he's like, who needs to see what our faces look? I'm like, dude, it's fun because everybody can see our reactions. They can see what's going on. And Derek, for some reason, he is like always craps on it when I'm trying to say, hey, I ask people, because they tell you, if you want to make the sale, you ask. So I'm always like, hey, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And I say, then you get to see our faces and all the things that we're, the reactions we have. And Derek's like, nobody cares about that. As soon as I'm saying it, I'm like, no, shut up. I want them to subscribe to YouTube. So
Then, by the way, ironically, thanks for watching this show of our
Yeah.
heads talking. Just so you know, this is the exact same format
Yeah.
that we have going on right now, and we don't have it
still
anywhere
think,
else
Scott,
but YouTube. So
You guys maybe should change it. Change it to Hey We're Arguing. I made that as a
I
joke
know.
initially, but maybe it could be a good thing. It's a catchier title, and if someone sees an argument, they're probably more likely to tune in
true.
to see what the argument was about.
we
yeah,
did,
but
and we
then
do
they'd have to argue more.
Yeah, but I mean, we do.
But they
we
do anyway.
argue. But again, like I use argue loosely because we're
Yeah.
not like fully yelling at each other or anything like that. I mean, look, even on the show, we just had Danny on the show, and on that show, Danny brought up, he was like, because Bob always is like, I don't want to talk about politics, whatever we do, no politics. And I'm heavily into politics, okay? I live in America and Donald Trump is the president, okay? I'm really into politics. So I talk about it in my normal life, and they want to steer clear of that because they don't want any kind of, see, for me, I think about like, how do you get people to view stuff that you're doing? Sometimes you talk about things that are controversial. Sometimes you say something that makes people irritated or something like that. And they want to steer clear of anything that's controversial. And try to keep it, middle of the road and all that kind of stuff, which I understand. But at the same time, I'm like, Scott, this guy right here, Scott Donnelly, he talks about that stuff and that's who he is. So when I'm on the show and they don't want me to talk about it, it's not really all of me. You're not getting all of me. So that's one of the things that I think is funny on our show is Danny brought up some kind of political thing and they were both just
It got
like,
pretty good.
oh. And then Bob said something about, the truth is everybody's right. And I'm like, no, absolutely not. That's totally incorrect. Somebody's wrong in every argument. They might have valid points, but there's one wrong person in an argument. Okay. So anyway, yeah, that's how
And
it goes.
we'll put a link to that video that he's talking about down in the description. Actually, if you look in the description, we will have links like galore, like for everything that we're talking about here on the show. Yeah, and the thing about Hey We're Talking is, they're growing at a certain pace, and they want to try to get over that
elusive 200 subscriber,
whatever that is. I mean, it's tough to say. They changed their format, and they went from 3 shows a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, about 20 to 30 minutes, to just one show for 1 hour. And I actually think that was a bad idea. And the only reason I think that is because it became a routine for me to watch. Like, oh, the show's out. Like, I almost wish it was out even more so, because it'd be like every morning I'd wake up, have that on in the background or whatever, and just let it go. And I know that you mentioned something about that. It's kind of like the idea that you wanted for your show was to be that way.
Yeah. Originally, the whole point of what I was trying to do when I originally had this idea and I talked to Bob, I said, I want to do like a morning show. Now, I don't know what it's like. I don't know how the morning shows go in Australia, but when I was growing up in the Detroit, Michigan area, there were these guys, Drew and Mike, and they had a morning show, and they just talked, man. They talked about anything. Now, but the stuff that they talked about was funny. And I feel like even though, we do argue or whatever on the show and stuff, I think there's humor involved in everything that we're doing. It's funny to hear these 3 guys that are friends bicker and pick on each other and all that kind of stuff. So my vision has always been more towards that kind of morning show thing. Not the people laughing in the background, that fake kind of like, I don't know if do they do that in Australia? I mean, like what are the morning shows like? Yeah. Like I don't want.
They have laugh tracks on the shows in America?
No, they hire people that are literally just there to laugh in the studio. So you've got people that work for the radio show. This is true. There are people that are just kind of like, I mean, they might be interns.
Television.
They might be interns. They might be, somebody that has another job at the radio station, but they mostly are just in the background when the guy says stuff. And I'm just kind of like, that is the stupidest thing ever. Now, Drew and Mike didn't do that. They had people that were there that were part of the show that laughed, but
yeah,
it was different. Anyway, so my vision was always like I would do the show 5 days a week if I could. I'd do 5 hour long. I'd do 5, however, until we were done talking shows.
So why not do that then?
It has more to do with the schedules of the guys than anything. Like I'm basically free to do whatever I want to do.
So let me ask you something. Like, I guess I love the other guys, by the way.
Yeah.
What's stopping you to like just doing it either yourself or getting some more people on just to continue it? Because if they can't provide that time slot, then you just keep it going, because it's about the channel. You want the channel to grow.
Yeah.
And I know they do. It's not like they don't want it to grow. They share it with their friends. They have coworkers watching. And Ben even said it too. He likes the hour-long thing because it goes on in the background. And I don't mind the hour-long thing too. But to me, it just seems like because you don't talk throughout the week, you get so much out within that 1 hour.
Yeah.
Like
what were the stats like, Scott, when you did swap it out from the 3 to the 1 hour show? What happened there with the stats?
We took a nosedive from the 3 times a week to the once a week. And Bob, he's our stats guy. So like, he'll argue that that we're not losing that much. When I look at the YouTube page or the podcast page, I just see, the views went, and I was just kind of like, oh my gosh, we made a huge mistake. Bob is wondering if maybe we should switch from the hour-long thing too. But again, it's like for us, it's more about convenience. Derek is a nurse. He works at night. He works overnight. So his availability is smaller. Bob has a job and has kids and a wife, and it gets more difficult. Like I don't have any kids. I got 2 dogs. I got a wife, but my time is way more open than theirs. And so if I were to do something like, Bob has encouraged me, hey, do something else on your own. It feels weird because they're the guys that I've done the show with. Now, I have thought about saying like, hey, maybe I should just like get together with Ben and get together with Danny, get together with some of these people that I know and just do something more than once a week, because I really do believe that it would help out the show a lot more if we were on more, I think.
Yeah. I agree. And you know what? Let's say this. Yeah, go ahead, Ben.
No, go, Danny. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that with CreatorCast, we also have Jay Boston and Scott Muir that we usually have on the show. And it goes the same way where Ben and I have completely different schedules. We don't necessarily have the 9-to-5 job. And so it's easier for us to get together and create the content than it was for us to just hope that we can get together once in a while and try to put out some episodes. So they all agreed that, if we can make an episode happen, just make it happen. If they can't make it, they can't make it. And so I think that's what we're doing. I mean, the thing is that it's CreatorCast. As long as one of us is in here, then that's kind of the important thing.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I was also going to say, overall, what do you want to achieve with Hey We're Talking anyway? Like, is it just a case of that you're happy to have your mates there to talk about stuff that's going on, and if you get some growth from it, fine. But is the idea to build a YouTube channel to go up and up and up? Like, I guess that's the ultimate question. Because if it's just for you three to hang out and chat, you're succeeding in that. Your chats are fun, they're fine, they're good times. But if your idea is to have a sustainable YouTube channel where you can earn enough money for the three of you, maybe it's time to change some things. Yeah,
I would say, I think even between the three of us, maybe there's a little bit of difference in what they see. For me, I look at this as like, I want this to be successful to the point of, I'm not looking to be like a millionaire, but I'd like this to be something that's sustainable and has a lot of views. And, just Danny was joking around and saying this before we started, but like, having bigger, stars and stuff on the show.
Say his name.
He's never going to be on. He said have Will Smith on the show. And I'm like, man, you're really shooting for the stars on that one. But it would be fun. Like, I think that we do have something different. Bob will tell, when he asks people to describe the show, he says that he feels like it's something that nobody else is really doing because it's not, and I don't know if that's necessarily true. I mean, I think there's somebody doing everything that somebody's doing. I don't think that we're that creatively different than anybody else. The difference is the personalities for me. I think that the three of us together have something that creates a good thing. So I think the people that are on it is what makes it what it is. So there might be a little bit of me that's even like a little bit like, oh my gosh, what if I did go off and do something on my own? They're both fine with that. It wouldn't be a problem for them. But would I succeed? It's that thing. Now that's like in the back of your head, right?
Only one way to find out.
Right.
Give it a shot.
To do it.
You could have a channel called Scotty Speaks. It's like Boogie 2988. You just sit there and you talk your mind about what's going on. You talk about your channel, about what's going on with that channel. Talk about things that you can't talk about on that channel. Have your political rants. Go for it. That'd be a good idea. Separate channel.
Yeah, I could do
Although,
that.
I mean, I think that Derek is a really good, it's like you have a sitcom because you have all these different personalities.
Yeah.
And it's like Kramer and there's like, George. It's like you have this
I
thing
want to know
makes
who's
it work.
Kramer.
More along the lines of Bob.
It's weird. I would say that Derek would be like a Kramer because he chimes in on these things that make you laugh.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he looks like Kramer.
Like, that makes me feel like maybe, am I George? That's kind of scary. Am I George? I don't want to be George. I could be.
Someone's got to be George.
Okay, I was using that as an example. I didn't really think it through all the way.
Come on, Danny.
That's what makes your channel work really well. Is you have this good what is it called?
Chemistry.
Chemistry, yeah.
Camaraderie.
See, the fact that we have good chemistry right here too, because you finished my
sentences, of course.
And I gave you an even
not
better
saying sandwiches.
Option.
I didn't even hear what you said.
Oh, dang
I'm
it.
out.
That's
well,
right.
I didn't even hear what you said. Sorry, you were talking over us. What did you say?
It'll come out in the edit anyway.
Oh my gosh. Anyway,
but no,
we're not editing this one.
how about we pitch it to our audience, the people that are watching CreatorCast? Make a comment. What do you think? First of all, have you watched Hey We're Talking? And if you have, what do you think that Scott and the channel, or Scott by himself, should do to
and be brutally
make both,
honest?
Yeah, be brutally honest. We want to see some growth, and what do you think will be the best way to achieve it?
Yeah, we have really good. The audience we don't have a huge audience on CreatorCast, but at the same time, there are people that are passionate about this too. So they will comment and they will say, you know what, I will link down below my favorite Hey We're Talking episode. I'm not in that one, but
They will do that.
You have a favorite Hey We're Talking episode?
My favorite one is the Christmas jingle one, the Christmas carols or whatever. You talk about that, and it was during Christmas. I laughed so hard at that episode. It was so funny.
Hey,
we were just
Can I run something by you guys and tell me if you think it's a good idea? This is an idea I gave the guys. I said I wanted to do. Okay, and we didn't do it this past Christmas, but I'm pushing for it. I said that we should either do A Christmas Story or Home Alone, a reading of the movie. We'll pick a piece. We won't do the whole movie, but we will literally act out the film, just speaking it on the show. What do you think of that?
That's interesting. I like that.
I thought it'd be a good
really
Christmas thing.
tough,
Bennett's not on board, I don't think.
Yeah, I feel like first of all you're going to run into copyright issues because you're broadcasting.
Just speaking the words?
Oh yeah,
Really?
yeah. All of that stuff would be copyrighted. The script. That's a
I don't
script.
think that
They're
you
not
have
just
to worry
words.
about that on your channel, though.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Do
Not
you
at
have
this
to worry
point.
about that for monetization? Probably not. But
No. I can't even. We
Yeah.
can't even monetize yet. We're not.
Okay,
at
so
that.
they
there
have
you
over
go.
1,000
So you're
subscribers.
fine. In that sense, here's a better idea. I think if you're not worried about that, then why not get things like, start playing songs on the show as well. What's your favorite song you've been listening to lately?
They do ding it as soon as you play a song. I've had that happen already.
When you say ding it, do they remove the video or do they just not allow you? I mean, you're not monetized anyway.
They monetize it, but then the ad. So there's a commercial beforehand, and the ad revenue would go to the whoever created the song or whatever.
We had a video that we put up that had music on it back when I did another channel with these guys, and it literally did something to the video where it garbled the video, cut into the video. So
I was just thinking about what Jay Boston was saying when we were talking about getting demonetized and whatnot on a previous CreatorCast episode, and he was saying for him he doesn't care because he doesn't worry about the AdSense anyway, so he puts whatever he wants in, and that's kind of what I was thinking. If you're not worried about getting dinged with anything, go to town and do whatever you want.
Yeah, that's true. We could do that. I've been using the 15-second rule, so if I play something, I just do 15 seconds.
So that's not exactly accurate. I've learned about that.
I've done it many times. It's accurate.
Well, so here's a question though: how do people like Casey Neistat and stuff get away with that? They play huge.
They pay
amounts
for the
of songs.
licensing.
Okay.
Yeah, they pay for the licensing.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy. If you have enough cash, you can do it.
By the way, what is going on with that guy's channel? I hate to totally switch gears here, but what's happening with his channel? It's all over the place.
I wouldn't know because I got unsubscribed from it thanks to YouTube, and I am definitely not resubscribing because YouTube unsubscribed me. So I refuse to.
Why are they doing these things?
I've heard a lot about it happening, but it had never happened to me before, and it just happened last week where Casey Neistat no longer in my sub feed.
Are you sure you didn't have too many homebrews or something like that?
No, because we just talked about it. We just discussed it on CreatorCast where I said he's got my resub because of 368, and I was watching everything.
Yeah.
And then one day I was like, haven't seen anything from Casey for ages.
Well, I'm gonna let you in. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. He's not putting very much out.
Right.
So it's not like you missed much. I mean, you maybe missed 2 videos a series.
Did he miss me? Has he said? Where's that view from that crazy cobber in Australia?
No, he has not. He
hasn't.
not.
See, I thought this was a two-way street here.
Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice if people just?
Hey, maybe we should get Casey on the show next on CreatorCast.
I think you got more chance of that than Will Smith.
Do you know anyone that knows his number?
Oh yeah. Nick,
368
can you
something.
give Casey a call for us and we'll get him on the show
Jay,
after
Jay's
he's been on your show,
flying
of
to
course.
America.
Yeah.
Jay said he's flying to America to go to 368.
He's going to be.
Yeah.
If he does that, Casey will not speak to him.
Yeah, I got to say, I feel like that's a bad option right at this point in time, just because 368 hasn't opened to the public.
Yeah.
So once it is a public-facing shop front, sure, go to 368 and put forward your pitch or whatnot. But just turning up there before it's opened, I don't know about that. Yeah.
You'd have a better
Casey
shot.
has a random schedule. He's all over the place, so you don't know if he's when I showed up, he was in France.
Yeah.
So he wasn't even there.
You'd have a better shot of meeting Casey without getting in trouble if you went to one of his wife's pop-up stores. Seriously, because he met a bunch of people at the last video
Yeah.
with his wife's had a little pop-up store. So
Wait, so you're watching all of his videos. So what's your query with Casey?
he's not putting.
what-
He said he made this big deal about
Every day,
368
yeah.
was going to be this everyday thing, and it's like really not close to everyday,
Yeah.
which is fine. I mean, it's his channel; he can do whatever he wants. But I feel like
That's
there's
why-
a
I mean,
lot of
for me,
people
with-
that have done that.
That's why a lot of times when I come up with a schedule on my channel and I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this time. I'll never put it in the video, like exactly what my schedule is going to be because
Then you have to actually follow through.
Yeah,
the
well,
worst.
I like to try to do it first, and then as it's going, then I can say, yeah, I do it this way. July has been going on in this channel at this point. You're watching this for 7 days, and I like to think it's been a success.
Oh, totally! It's been awesome,
Totally.
man. The videos
been
have
great.
been just incredible. You know who does?
Recorded this before.
You know who's really?
Sorry, it's funny that Danny just said that he doesn't like to say that he's doing things, and then he just said that he did 7 days of live and he hasn't actually done them yet.
Now you're really gonna have to make sure you do 7 days of live.
I
Unlike,
will.
we know-
I
we
like
know
to go
you'll do
every
that.
day live.
We know
Look at-
you'll do that.
Benin is
Yeah.
like clockwork, man. Literally like
Yeah,
clockwork.
but I don't know. I feel like I'm a bit of a different case because I've always been like that in all aspects of my life. So doing the video is just like an extension of that.
He's got Asperger's.
Yeah, I kind of do. I have this routine system where
Asperger's.
you can't really see on this angel, but behind me I've got a door rack where I hang my
we've seen it.
gown on the back of the door,
Sleeping
right?
gown.
Yeah, sleeping gown, and there's 5 hooks.
Yep.
So in my head, one of those is for Monday, one of those is for Tuesday, one of those is for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So if you were to get my camera and walk it across there, my dressing gown would be on the second rack because it's Tuesday. I'm a weirdo.
What do you
like
do
that,
for
though.
Saturday and Sunday?
I know.
I've got a system for that. If it's a Saturday and it's a cold day and I'm wearing the gown, it comes off the Friday rack and goes back on the Friday rack for a second attempt because it means that I've been using it extra. So it gets a second, and the same with the Sunday.
This is interesting.
But what I'm illustrating with that is that to get to something like daily vlogs, and in your case, Danny, Live, like you have to already have that in you to be as regimented and as systematic. And I think with what Scott, you were saying about Casey, his lifestyle and his output and his production is so massive that he probably just can't physically fit it all in. So a daily vlog, he already did that and then stopped it, kind of came back with it roughly and then stopped it again. Maybe it's just too much.
Yeah, it is. And he's, I think everybody thought that Dan Mace was editing the videos and stuff like that for him, but he revealed that that's not the case, that he doesn't trust anybody else to edit his videos. And it's
Right.
like,
Yeah.
when you're as busy as he is and collecting all that footage all day and vlogging and all this stuff, I mean, at the level he's at, he's got to have somebody to do that stuff for him. He has
You know
to.
what I think? I think the whole vlogging thing transformed a bit. Where back when he was doing it, his production levels weren't that high. Like, I mean, he had good gear, but he wasn't doing all this crazy like cinematic stuff that Peter McKinnon does.
No.
And so he was doing great stuff, and the music was kind of cool, and everybody was like, "This is something I haven't seen before." And he was doing it, every day. And then when he got off of that, and then he tried to do more cinematic stuff, and I can relate to that because the stuff that I do, I'll spend an hour just adding in little whoosh effects and stuff like that in my project, and even making it so minute that you might not notice it, but it's there to the point where it feels right. And like, before he'd just be like, screw that up, whatever. He doesn't care. Like, it'll just go on, even if it's, how his camera sometimes will fall over and he doesn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
I think that, that was cool. Now I don't like it, but before I was like, oh, that's so funny that he just will like cut off mid-sentence and, do all that stuff. And I think that he can't keep up with the way that the vlogging has changed. Like, everybody's doing this really cool cinematic stuff. And I think it actually might come back around to the way he does it or did it before. That's why I think the live thing that I'm going to do is going to be a lot like that, where it's going to be a little bit produced. the live thing that I've been doing. It's a little bit more produced. It's not just live and me reading comments and saying hi. It's actually going to be something and me talking about different things and doing some random stuff. So
I think in addition to that, he's got his wife who doesn't really like what he's doing. Like, she doesn't give full approval for him to do it. I think
she likes the money.
Relating it back to Scott, you just said you've got all the time in the world. Obviously, your wife is fine with what you're doing. So you could open up to doing, you've got a YouTube channel. Maybe you should do like a daily live stream where you just sit down and talk bang, bang, bang with no editing, just straight into the camera.
Yeah.
You get a following. By the way, guys, if you like what I'm doing, come and check out my production on Hey We're Talking. We do a weekly or a 3 times a week episode. Maybe that could be how you rope people in.
Yeah. I like all this stuff. I think the main thing for us, and that was good bringing it all the way back around. I like how you did that. I think the main thing for us is I love doing it with those guys, like having them on and having a discussion and stuff like that. But the truth is, I mean, we've been talking for a while here. I can talk to anybody for any length of time. I love doing this, just chatting and getting to know people. So I would do this 5 days a week, easy. I mean, if I had the people that I could be talking to somebody different every day, I would do it every single day because I love it. It's just fun. It's fun.
Well, that's obvious then. What you have to do is you have to start your own channel. It's clear cut. Start your own channel. Hey We're Talking
or you
becomes
need to, or
your
just
side
keep growing
project.
with Hey We're Talking, but yeah, maybe like just talk to the guys and be like, hey, listen, we just need more. We need more stuff. And if you're in, you're in. If you're not, you're not. And as the channel grows, they're going to be in it more and more and more because being part of the growth is the exciting part.
I think I would stick with Hey We're Talking and just add videos daily.
Yeah,
I agree. And have Wednesday
starting
be like
over
the main, kind of. It could be the entree. Although, let's be real. If I'm doing something 5 days a week, I'm the entree, baby. I'm kidding. But it would be fun.
Is.
We could be the dessert, the three of us. Like I said, I love doing the show with them. They're friends of mine, and we have a great time. And
can I just pitch something as well? Back to my idea of having Scott Donnelly.
Yeah.
Scott Donnelly Speaks, SDS plus Hey We're Talking. The difference with what on Hey We're Talking, Derek has his own channel, right? And it's quite successful.
Yeah, true.
On
true.
CreatorCast, we all have our own channels and we're all quite successful, and we all pitch together to make CreatorCast. I just feel like with your own channel, you could harness that.
That's a good point.
Develop this as well. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm trying to spot.
No,
what's different.
that's smart.
That's good
Because Bob's gonna have his own channel eventually too.
Yeah. The band's eventually going to break up. I'm just kidding.
But the band will always.
I'll do stuff with them.
Stuff is going to make your the other stuff. Yeah, I think that Ben, you're right about that.
I don't know. I don't know who's right or wrong, but I'm just saying I'm trying to work out what the differences are here, and I can see a clear difference where we've all got our channels, and we're all jumping across, like in the intro to CreatorCast, where YouTubers coming together to talk about things that we wouldn't talk about on our channel, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think this is good stuff. I mean, I agree with you guys. I don't see anything bad about anything that's being suggested. And like I said, I think Bob and Derek have both, especially Bob and I have talked about it at length, and he's like, dude, do your thing. He has no problem with it. So
who do you watch on YouTube?
I have an idea for you, Scott.
Oh, sorry, go, Danny.
It's actually what you're saying. Did you say, what do you watch on YouTube?
That's exactly what I said. Jinx.
I was thinking that he should just make videos about what he watches and talk about.
Yeah, totally. Like
just show clips of the videos and stuff.
Yeah, who are you watching?
I'll be honest with you. I watch you guys, of course. Every time you guys put stuff out, sometimes I'll catch up on Ben on stuff like your dailies.
Thanks.
I'll just sit down and watch like 3 or 4 at a time, and I always watch Danny's when they come out. I watch. Trying to think who else. I do watch Casey's 368 when he puts stuff out. I used to watch Peter McKinnon quite regularly, and then I don't know if I just got kind of burnt out on it or what happened. But
I'm the same way.
I really liked it. I mean, I can remember the first couple videos of his that I watched that I was just like, wow, this is so beautiful. Just the cinematography and the stuff that he does was, and people might think this is weird, but it was moving to me. I was like, wow, this is really good. And then I used to watch Philip DeFranco all the time too. Yep. And then I think one time I was just kind of like, dude, you're getting too far left. Because I always felt like he was in the middle, and then he hired all those new millennial kids to like do his research and stuff for him, and I felt like he kind of went from the middle and kind of went a little more liberal. And that's fine. I'm okay with people being liberal. I know Bob and Derek give me a hard time about that, but I'm okay with that. But I think there's a difference between, we're veering far off here. I'll try not to go too far off. But I believe there's a difference between liberal and leftist ways of thinking. Liberals are open to debate. Leftists try to force you to do what they believe and will destroy you if you don't agree with them. So that's my take on it. Anyway,
that should be your discussion points, though. That's how you can gain an audience, by having,
hey, we're conservative,
or having just your opinions, and not necessarily like arguing against someone, but just putting forward an opinion that's different. That is going to be engaging.
Yeah.
And you should be watching, like, other political people on you.
He does.
Oh, I do.
Ben Shapiro.
I do.
Yeah.
I watch Shapiro and Crowder and
But then if you had your channel and you were live streaming, you could then refer back to what they were talking about, and in the title of the stream you could say something like, whatever Shapiro talked about, you could put that in the title, and then you would get an audience to come into your live feed, and you could have an engagement.
Very, very true.
Yeah.
And you need to have a channel that you're passionate about. Like, don't worry about what you want people to watch. Talk about what you talk about. Talk about what you talk about.
The thing that I really like, if you guys want to know the truth, is TV shows. I'm really into really good TV shows. So I would like to talk about that.
You want to talk about TV shows?
I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's TV?
Yeah. I try to.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Now, do you watch TV or do you watch Netflix? TV shows.
I stupidly got regular TV again. I always said I was never going to do it again, but I did.
Wow.
And I'm in a contract for another year. But when that's gone, I'll be back onto being cordless. They're cutting the cord.
Yeah.
So
Cutting the cord.
I have Netflix and Hulu and all that stuff, so I watch all that crap too. I mean, it's ridiculous. I watch way too much TV, but I do watch a lot.
Scott, can I ask
TV.
you something?
Yeah.
Can I ask you something? What are you doing the first weekend of September?
First weekend of September? Probably nothing. Why? What's going down?
Maybe you should come out to Australia and come to VidCon with us.
To VidCon in Australia? Really?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say no, but I'm going to say I have to keep on my healthy ways, because there's no way I would be any good to you guys if I came at this point. I mean, I'm losing weight, but if I flew to Australia, you guys would be like, does somebody have a cart to wheel Scott around in for a while?
I really want you to know that there's a lot of fat people in Australia.
Is there really?
A lot of fat people. Yeah, there's a lot of obese people. It's like probably the same statistics as America, but there's so many more people in America that it looks like Americans are all
Oh, man,
fat,
we're
but,
really fat here. Woo. We got some
I don't want to
real...
get myself in trouble, but I work on cruise ships, man.
Right. Is there a lot of fat people on cruise ships? There is?
No.
I'm
tons.
terrified of going on a cruise ship. Do you know that, right?
Oh, no, there's tons of
Tons of fun on the cruise ship.
I wouldn't say that would
Brennan,
be
you've been on the cruise ship with him. Was there a lot of fat people on the cruise ship?
Oh, look, I wouldn't generalize to say that there was a lot of fat people. I'd just say there was a lot of people relaxed and a lot of chilling out going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They're on vacation. They're on holiday. They're not expected to go to the gym. I don't even know why there's a gym on those ship boats, by the way.
Do people go to them?
I went to it once or twice.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah. The staircase is enough of a gym for me. Up and down that staircase every day.
I was going to say.
Level 12, was it, Danny?
No, but that'd be fun.
To the pantry.
Yeah.
I'll put it in mind. The first week of
If you
September.
come out, you should come out and hang out in Kilborough Beach, and we should do a little road trip down to.
The thing is, I wouldn't encourage you to come out to Australia for VidCon, because I think VidCon's a complete waste and a joke. But to come out to Australia for this and to mingle and to hang out and to create content with the creator cast.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not for VidCon, but that would be a good way, especially for his channel. I mean, because Ben, you're Australian. I mean, there's a lot of Australians now that like you guys, and I think that That could be pretty cool.
We do. We do
you know,
on our stats. We do have a lot of people that watch and listen in Australia, which is crazy to me. But I love it. It's because of you guys. There's no doubt about it.
You can pitch
There's
it to
no
them.
way we would have had the exposure.
Say to them, would you think it'd be a good idea if one of the Hey We're Talking boys, i.e. me, came out to Australia and then see how they react? And yeah.
But they don't have to pitch. I mean, he can invite them. He doesn't have to ask permission.
No,
I'm
would
saying
love
he
it.
could ask the audience what they think.
Yeah.
That's true. You could do that. You know what would be awesome is just to plan it so that's like kind of a reward for my weight loss is to be able to drink one of Benon's home brews.
Oh yeah. Well, my
That'll be the
homebrews
first
are
time I have a drink.
Oh, they're good.
They're pretty good.
And I think they're kind of healthy for you too, actually.
That's what I was going to say. No preservatives, no additives, just straight up.
You don't
sugars
wake up
and
with a
yeasts.
hangover the next day.
Probably not
because
the most healthy.
Yeah.
Well, I've cut out all alcohol. I only drink water with lemon, and I'm dropping the weight. But
Well, if you came out to Australia and you were like you worked out for the next 2 months, whatever.
Yeah.
And you lost a lot of weight and you come out, we could plan a little road trip from one side to the other, and not the whole Australia,
it's
but just like
huge.
down to Melbourne.
yeah, that'd be
Pick
fun.
you up
man.
in Sydney. We'll drive down and we'll get in all of the RV. If,
You still have Olive?
Yeah, we're actually it'll be a lot on the July because I think we're gonna take it out to some campsites and stuff like
Nice.
that. So yeah.
Olive
Yeah,
returns.
it can be fun. And then when we're in Melbourne, we'll have a hotel and we can do live stuff and we can broadcast and we can interview people. I think that'd be pretty cool.
I would love it, man. I'm totally down with it.
You could change the channel to Hey We're Traveling.
There you go. Hey, we're traveling.
There's definitely
There's not enough travel
something in
channels
that
out
though.
there.
There's playlists that you could create, like sub
I know.
playlists. Like
Yep.
the channel is Hey We're Talking, but underneath that umbrella is Hey We're Arguing, Hey We're Discussing, Hey We're Apologizing, Hey We're Traveling. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I actually have one that I've talked with my wife about at length, and we may do
Whoa,
is have
hey,
a
we're, doing
podcast
it?
with my wife where it would be Hey She's Talking, and then all the guys could do that with their wives or any female that wanted
Yeah.
to be on the show. We could do that with.
Yeah,
So
I think that's a terrible idea.
really, I think
it's a great idea at first, but like if it's not their passion, they're not going to be into it, and you're going to be the one pushing them to do it.
no. My wife's on board. She'd do it.
Oh, is
Derek's
she?
wife
Okay,
probably
sorry.
would not do it. She would not.
She would not. By the way, did you see our last Creator Cast guest? We had Mark Ensbey on, and we mentioned to you guys a couple of times because you're the ones that kind of got us onto the room. And his name's Mark, and we were like, "Oh, hi, Mark!" And he didn't even know the reference.
Of course.
And we've said that so many times, and yeah, I think we finally showed him what it was.
Who's the guy before him?
Cody Wanner.
Yeah, I watched that one, loved it. Immediately went and watched his stuff. I really enjoyed
You
it.
talk about Benon's audio.
Yeah, I did talk about Benon's audio.
Apologies,
Sorry,
folks.
That's okay. It's okay.
Pretty bad.
And Danny was like, "Oh, of course, point out the bad audio." And I'm like, "I'm not trying to be mean. I'm trying to let you know because it didn't sound good. I wanted you to know." And again, yours was better than some other people's that have been on your show. But yeah. Anyway, Cody, good stuff. That was a really good episode. That guy was really cool. So yeah, that's because of you that I found that guy. And it was awesome.
We subscribed to him. We joined his hashtag NoSmallCreators
Yep, I
group
did too.
on Facebook.
Yep.
And I mean, he shared one of my videos that I just posted, and he was just all about it. He was excited. And it's funny because he's a small creator, but I feel like he's a Peter McKinnon. Like he's like a celebrity to me for some reason. Like because he does so well.
I think isn't he just like over 2,000 subscribers?
Yeah, but
Which
he's
is crazy.
Really
he
well.
seems like he's a huge, just like you're saying. He seems like he's a huge YouTube
His
guy.
personality is just like you're like, wow, you're talking to you commented on my wow, you're watching my stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just that's really cool. And I think that especially Ben, I'm like because we were on a dad, what's his name, Dad's Piranha. He's got very very low sub count, and he did a live stream, and me and Ben were like basically. We were the 2 out of 3 people that were on his live stream, and we commented, and he was just like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe these people are watching me do this. It's like he was on this high, and it's such a good. I mean, we've all been there. It's a good feeling to have that kind of like excitement that something is happening on your channel.
Yeah,
and I love that, the whole no small creator thing. I think that's really cool.
My only thoughts with that with Cody Wanner and like I love his enthusiasm. I love his drive and his reach and he's clutching for something. My only thoughts are when it becomes only about like all of the content that I've seen from Cody seems like it's just about instructional, like how you can do this, how you can do that, how you can do this, how you can do that. I just want to see him living, just doing it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like it's okay to have a tutorial about, you know, what happened after they got on that Peter McKinnon B-roll experiment or whatever. That's cool, but then the next video should just be something about him doing that in the video instead of constantly saying you have to do this, you have to do that, and it's always the same motivational stuff, which I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I'd like to see something different as well from time to time.
You know, he'll get to that because he's only been doing this for 6 months now.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's
I
true.
think that his audience is loving it and they're captivated. And I think that just like, you know, Casey Neistat, he didn't start doing all of his life stuff until later on. And actually, even with Casey Neistat, it was a lot of the same stuff too.
Yeah.
He grew by telling people like, you know, if you're a young person, make sure you're on time and do all this stuff and like just like kind of life instructional kind of stuff.
I get it.
It was inspiring, and
I'm not digging at it. All I'm saying is that that's all we've seen so far, and I think that there's more from Cody, and I'm keen to see when he puts all of that stuff into the vlogs instead of just telling us how to do it. I want to see him actually doing it.
Yeah.
I would just point out one other thing about guys like Cody. Like, again, I don't know him that well. I just started after I watched your guys' show, watching some of his videos. But I will say this. When someone is like super positive and super motivational all the time on their videos, there is a part of me that goes, okay, I want to know who you really are. If I'm going to invest the time in you, I want to know who you really are.
That's kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah, and so here's what I'll say. When we first got in touch with Danny on Hey We're Talking and started watching his videos and got him on, and eventually we got connected to you, when I first started watching your videos, one of the things that I loved about you was you like bitched about your internet and you would talk about things that bothered you or something that you had that didn't work the way it was supposed to work. And I mean, you weren't like this piece of, you didn't get all mad and all this kind of stuff, but you were really showing us who you were.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah.
I don't like this constant like, hey everybody, here we are again today and all this kind of stuff. It's like, I get that. Everybody wants people that are positive.
By the way, shout out to Cody because he's probably watching this.
Yeah,
No, this is-
I love what Cody's doing, but what I'm saying is, I would encourage Cody to go let the full Cody out.
Yep.
Because
100%.
nobody can be that positive all day, every day.
Maybe I wasn't articulating it exactly how I wanted to, or not what I was saying, but that's where I was headed with that. I think that there's more behind Cody than he.
You just want to see more of his. Yeah, I agree, and you know what? But I've also probably seen more episodes than you guys have, and it hasn't been all positive. I think that just the later stuff, because things have been going really well on his channel, so he's really he is positive. He's happy. Like he just like Peter McKinnon shared a video, like he's pumped about it, like and he's bringing that to the camera. And when I first started vlogging as well, it's like, yeah, this is exciting. I'm doing something really cool, and and then now it's like, all right, well,
I guess the other
See,
thing,
but I think
the other thing with it for me is like, and I've said this before on CreatorCast, I just don't think that we should all be aspiring to be Peter McKinnon or to be Casey Neistat or to, like, whilst it's good that he might get a shout out from these guys and he might have their video include his video and that's wonderful, like amazing. I just don't think that that's like, everyone shouldn't be needing to do that. Like, I've always said we should do our thing, let them have their thing, and we do our thing.
Yeah.
And we will make our thing successful. We don't need them to make us.
I think that, and I guess we don't need to discuss it too much more. It's just, at some point, the Casey Neistat fads, it's going to die and it's going to die down, and someone needs to take over. Someone needs to be the next whatever. And I love that we have this small network of creators, and he's like our Peter McKinnon, like in our world. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
He like screw Peter McKinnon.
So maybe
Cody
I could
is
be the
Cody.
next H3 Productions. How
Yeah,
about that?
absolutely.
That's what I was saying,
Or
man. You
Creator
could
Cast
do
can.
a show similar to that where it's just a sit down,
dude.
talk, get it.
I love
Yeah.
Ethan and Hila.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys are great. And again, the reason that I was attracted to them was, number one, it was hilarious. And number two, the guy was just going full on. There wasn't all this like, oh, here's a video that I watched today. It was like, look at this cringe crap that this person
It's
put out.
authentic.
And it's
It's
fantastic.
authentic.
Yeah.
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 I
Just,
think that's
just
what
one
people
other
want,
thing,
though,
if
is authenticity.
one other thing too, if Cody is watching, Cody, get some sleep, dude. 2 hours a night, you're gonna burn. Get some sleep. Go to sleep.
Yeah.
Just have a rest, man.
I don't know
And
how people
can we
do
can
that.
we give a shout out to Gina as well? She was on the show first. She was kind of our first like into this new format. And also it was nice having a lady on that was really dedicated to vlogging. And if you're a female and you do YouTube, and we'd love to have you on the show as well. I think that she's down at VidCon. She flew all the way to American VidCon, and she saw Casey do talk and stuff like that. And she does really well. Like her you have to check her out, Scott, because you could tell that she's a mom of like 4, and she doesn't have a lot of time, but she puts a lot of production into these things. And it's quite interesting to see. So and she's at that she's gonna go somewhere. She's gonna do really well. So you got to get in early so you can be friends with her, and then
and I can ride her coattails all the way to the top.
That's right.
And by the way, but before you go
um,
on, just a quick interjection. I've noticed throughout this episode, Danny, you've already been on a position, like on an angle like that, but my position has slowly rotated myself to the side here. I think sideward sitting might be the best way to do this. What do you think, Scott? Is this a better angle for me?
I don't know.
Can you move your head back and forth towards the mic?
Oh.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
went
I
there.
get you.
He
I
went
get you.
there.
You filthy swine.
It's forgetting Sarah Marshall reference.
Oh.
I just
Yes,
noticed my body was
exactly.
like,
Oh, you're disgusting. Oh, that's
I
gross.
was front on before, but
No, I always had to. I always go head on.
Okay.
I always go head on. That's just me, though.
the wonderful world of YouTube.
Danny's laughing again because I said head on. He's laughing.
All these euphemisms.
Is that why you're laughing?
Sure, dude. It's just yeah. People that are watching know why I'm laughing. Because I'll put a link in the description. I'm kidding.
Oh gosh, I'm afraid to follow that link.
But to bring this all back to Scotty and to Hey We're Talking, I think the future is good. Just continue and maybe just change some small things and maybe start your own channel.
All right,
Yeah.
there it is.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
That must be the
There it
ticket.
is.
That's the ticket.
Hey, I don't have anything to
You
go.
have all the right elements and ingredients. I just think that you need to be more. You need to be more because, like I said, if it becomes a ritual for me every day, if it's a morning show for people on the morning commute, like it'll stay. Like it'll keep going. But then once it stops, like now when it stopped to just one episode, it's like, all right, I got to catch up on this at some point. Well, I'll watch it as I watch it instead of every.
That's exactly what you're hoping when people think about, hey, we're talking. Oh, I got to catch up on this. But I get what you're saying. I completely understand.
No, I mean I'll still watch it because I love watching it, and it's even good if it's in the background of like as I'm editing. And
Yeah.
it's on a completely different screen. Like it's been that way. Like it's kind of nice.
We're
to
like
hear your
good.
voices.
We're like good white noise. We kind of drown out.
Yeah. Yeah.
The noisy heater or whatever. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. People fall asleep to you. You know, it's
Exactly,
like that podcaster
yeah.
that gets paid millions of dollars for having a voice that puts people to sleep. He'll read the newspaper, and people listen to it just because they fall asleep.
I thought you were going to talk about
And
those weird ladies who whisper everything. Have you seen those?
I wouldn't mind one of those.
Oh,
They
dude,
whisper
it's
anything?
terrible.
What if we just on CreatorCast we talk like this? So good night, everybody. We had a great time. We're gonna blow out the candles. But we should wrap up the show.
Yes.
Because we got other things going on, and I got to go live today
You do.
You do.
because it's July 7th.
You know who's going to, well, he's not going to go live, but he's definitely going to put a video up today. Bet on.
Well, I do. I've got mine.
That's true.
Yes.
Yep.
That's true. Hey, you know what, Scott? Maybe you should start a channel and go do a July as well. That'll be your first 31 episodes will be July.
Okay.
And
Wouldn't he have already done
just do that.
No,
And you know
now?
what? If not, if anything, it's just
already
good
7
practice.
days into July.
I
He
would have already done it
that
by now. I totally just started it, and yeah.
How's that July been going for you, Scott? I know you started that.
Oh my gosh, it's unbelievable. I turned a Y upside down. It was unbelievable.
No, the logo looks great, Danny. I love the logo.
I know.
And I love the movement. I think
It does
you,
look
I
good.
think Charles is going to do it as well. So I believe the vegan cheetah's been doing it as well. So that's great, man.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have no idea what
Cool.
I'll do live, but okay.
Just do what you've been talking about that you want to do. Like talk about
doing it.
use what is it? OBS. Download that OBS software, and then you can like put little video links that you're watching about stuff, and then talk about it and just be live.
Dude,
I'll
I'd tune in.
Okay.
I'll get other people. We'll get Creator Crass.
Okay.
We'll put a
You've already been watching for 7 days. Thank you.
yes.
In fact, I've got to hang up here and go and watch your live stream, which is happening now.
Right now.
It actually might be because either I'm going to be at a gig or I'm going to be at an AFL game.
Wait a second.
So, which I'm hoping
If
for the
you
AFL.
do July, Danny, and if Scott starts July, who do you choose to watch?
Well, I might not be broadcasting at the same time as
That's
him.
true.
There's a very good chance that it's not going to be the
You're
same
saying
time.
there's like 24
You know what I
hours in
should
the
do?
day. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, yeah. I need to do kind of like Ben on though, and I should just like choose all these although I found out that it's not random at all. I didn't catch on to the fact. Danny had to explain to me that your 4 minutes is 4 minutes after the day before.
Consecutive.
You continue to move it 4 minutes forward. I had no idea because I'm apparently not very smart in the
Wow.
noggin up here.
You haven't caught on to that?
I never paid
How many of
attention.
them have you watched before you caught on to that?
I've watched a lot of them. I didn't catch on to it until Danny told
Wow.
me, because I just kept when I originally started watching, you were going outside for the sunrise, but it was too dark,
Right.
and then it kept getting more and more
Dark.
so that the sun. I know my nice American accent. It's so peaceful. Then I was like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder why. Yeah, and I never
Wow.
caught on. Can you believe
Okay.
that? Never caught on. I don't pay attention to the details, Ben. don't know if
I
you
understand.
noticed.
We're not all as nutty
Okay.
as I am. I get that.
Yeah. So what I was going to say is maybe what I should do is just set it for random times to do my live, so that in the middle of the night I'll have to wake up and come into my office here and just turn a light on and go, all right, I just woke up and I'm going to do a live broadcast.
I thought of
I was
that.
dreaming about
I thought of that concept, and I think it's a great idea. I chose not to do it, but I think it's a really solid idea. Random daily and everyday random times. It's perfect.
I wonder if there's a way that there's got to be an app or something that could randomize like an alarm for you on your phone.
I don't think that that's a good idea. I think that for what you're doing, and if you want to talk about like politics and stuff like that, you should have your morning show that you're talking about. Like, find out your demographic and who's watching, and
Well, right now,
make that
0.
go live at that time.
It's a clean slate.
Because it's not
clean
happening
slate.
yet. So I've got 0 demographic. Yeah,
I'm saying, like, if
I
you did
got-
a
I know
morning
what
show,
you're
if you
saying.
whatever time your internet works the best or whatever, and then you plan ahead, and you know
Did
what
you
you're going to be
forget my
talking about the
internet
next day.
works really well all the time? It's super fast.
Rub it on in.
I will say this time we're recording this, my internet's been really good. I want to record always at this time
You should.
because the internet hasn't been bad. Like
Okay,
like
so
it
for
is
one
like
of
when
my
we do a
Jew
later show.
lives, I'll just call you at like 8 in the morning then, and we'll do a Jew live together.
Yeah.
It almost
maybe I'll
sounds like
even
I'm
Jew
saying
live.
something bad about
Don't say
Jews.
Jew.
I feel bad. Jew live. I'm not
I
saying
even thought that what else works with that word is it's almost like you're live.
Yeah.
Jew live.
Jew live,
Jew-
man.
Jew live.
Can we also take a moment to have a look at the background at Danny's place? I really like what you've got going on there.
know.
I mentioned the side angle
I do
before.
too.
I just like the lighting, the coloring, the tech, the little what's it called? What's that light box? Yeah,
Yeah,
the light
what-
box.
what's
Yeah, he's
I
got
just
Oh,
a
the light
I
box,
think it
yeah,
looks
yeah.
nice. You've done a good job there.
And look, I even pay tribute to my old The Danny Black
Ah, there you go.
vlog.
Yep, you got your sunglasses there, the ones that I wore on the
got-
ship.
And all
boat.
my guitar, all my custom guitar picks that I've had over the years.
Why are there so
These are
many
all custom guitar
iPhones on
picks.
your
Yeah, that
wall?
one's a
That's
bit
what I wanna
confusing.
So that's my GoPro that just died recently.
How are you mounting them up there though?
And that's my
Blue
Blue
tack.
tack.
I was going to say.
Oh.
yeah
What
Blue
what
tack, sorry,
iPhone
blue
is
tack.
that one in the middle?
6 And then this was Emma's, and it's cracked, and I just threw it up there. So.
And then it looks like there's
5
another
or
one, but it's not. Is that not a phone
Oh
behind it?
yeah, on the other wall.
Is that
Oh, that's just it's a case for a phone.
okay?
And it says on it, "Let's get lost."
Okay.
Let's get lost.
There you go.
That was Lost LeBlanc's catchphrase, wasn't it?
Yeah, probably. But yeah, that's not
There's
what it is.
another channel I'm not
But
watching
yeah,
at
yeah.
all anymore. I don't tune in.
Thanks for bringing up the background. I spent a lot of time, putting all that stuff up there. Little lights, fairy lights, and boxes and stuff. I love this. By the way, mounting your camera on the PSA 1 arm is the best thing in the world. Like, that is just, hey, look over there. Look at that's
That
my
is
map.
pretty handy to be able to do that. Yeah. I think I might get
Yeah.
a second one.
I want to almost somehow create something where you can use that as a tripod, so you can take it wherever you are on a shoot, and you can
Yeah.
just use it.
Is that
like, all
the
the
PSA
time.
from Rode,
thought of-
or is that
of-
the
of
other one
ways
you
that-
bought?
Yeah, that's PSA for Rode. This is the cheap one. It's
Right.
connected to the microphone, and I really need to get one of those wire things because when you touch it.
Yes,
Shock mount.
yes.
Yeah, shock mount. This was 25 Australian dollars, and it was delivered the next day, which is not bad. It's not as long
Gotcha.
of an arm.
I have one of
So,
those.
anyways.
I have one of those too.
The cheap ones or the PSA one?
I have a cheap one over here. I have the PSA right here, but I have a cheap one over there with my other microphone for when I do a podcast with my wife.
Excuse me?
With my wife.
We've never seen you do a podcast with your wife. Oh, wait. Did we see that
No,
in July
we're going
already?
to.
I can't remember.
No, I don't know. I don't
Wait,
know
when
yet.
you do the podcast with your wife, are you going to give her the cheap arm?
Yeah, she gets the cheap arm. I'm the professional. She gets the cheap arm. Plus, we have to think about I told her the other day, I want to be careful with the podcast with her because she works at a proper job where if something she said
Yeah.
could get her fired, I don't want that to happen.
Oh,
So I have to be careful.
Man, I really wanted to talk to you about Roseanne Barr. I remember you guys talking about that.
We
but
should have
you know what? If
done
people
like
are not
3
here,
creator
at this point,
casts.
If people are
at
here,
this
they're here
point.
to watch. It doesn't matter. They're not,
Yeah.
If they're done with it, they can turn it off. We're talking.
What do you
we're
wanna know?
talking. I think when I was listening to your show and then I heard Bob go, she said a horrible, horrible thing, and I'm like, did she? Like, I've heard horrible, horrible things before. I'm not trying to get in trouble with it, but it just seems like anytime anyone can just say something, they get attacked a little bit. It's like they get attacked a lot.
It depends. It depends what your political leanings are too. In the U.S., at least, I don't know how it is for you guys.
I'm just saying how much people make fun of Donald Trump and what animals he looks like and
Sure.
whatever. And then if you say that this person is like that person from Planet of the Apes,
Yeah,
it's
Valerie
like-
Jarrett she worked for the Obama administration, and so
Yeah.
she said that she looked like a character from the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, mixed with a Muslim something. And I'm just saying, like, I've heard a lot worse things
sure.
said, but so to me that it pisses me off that it's blown out so much. And like what you said on your show is that it kind of makes it like she's a comedian. She's supposed to have that shock value,
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
She was also on drugs at the time, by the way, when she tweeted
absolutely.
it.
I'm not trying to defend her all too
No.
much, but I'm more defending the fact that really, was it like there's
She
been
lost
way
her
worse things
entire. She
said.
lost her entire livelihood completely.
Absolutely. But the other thing that I would say is those network people, they should, if you sign a contract with us, you can't tweet anything. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, they should
how
do
much
that.
money
You're
did
right.
they all lose? Like, they should have control over what you post. Like, for like, if you can't sign that, then you don't do the show, whatever. But like, I think that you see that a lot more. It's like people are getting fired because of this stuff, and it's
Yeah.
like that's what they should just be reminded. By the way, you're working for us, so you need to follow our values and guidelines while you're working on the show. Sign this contract. You can't post anything political. You can't do this and that. And if you do, then you take the blunt of the hit of the thing. So
Here's the truth, though. Twitter, for all the good things that maybe you might find on Twitter, the truth is it's kind of a cesspool. I mean, it's kind of the gutter of all the social media things.
I've never
that we
gotten
have.
into Twitter. I've tried. I've never been able to.
I do read it. I used to really enjoy getting actual news stories from Twitter because there were so many different sources available, and they would, and it was very real time. Like if something happened, the news was right there for you to see. But it's become just basically people yelling at each other constantly, telling each other they're stupid, and
Yeah.
calling people names. And then you've got, again, these celebrities that come out and say things on Twitter, and you're just like, why would you alienate half your audience? Why do you say these things?
Yeah.
We just want to watch you do cool stuff in your movies. We don't really care that much what you think about politics. I mean, I know it's their right,
Yeah.
too. They can say whatever they want. But you're going to
Well,
alienate
Chris Pratt
half.
did the same thing too,
Yeah.
and talking about God and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
to me, that wasn't that bad of a thing.
No.
It was weird when he started talking about poop and peeing on your poop.
Yes,
Like,
he did.
and it's Chris Pratt, so that's him.
He was trying to be
but
funny.
That was a weird, like that went off the rails for me. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, you shouldn't have said that. Like all the things you said before that were like gold, and then it was like, ooh, what did you do?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know. So, but you know what's weird is that Chris Pratt can say that, and he's not going to get attacked by everybody and be like, he talked about God on his thing, and you know what I mean. Like, he should be fired because you know some people don't believe in God, or they believe in a
Right.
different God. Like
He got his
I think
share
that-
of people telling him he was stupid for believing in God, though. He
Yeah,
really
that's-
did on
that-
Twitter and stuff like that.
yeah,
Dude, people are relentless. That's why I said it's kind of a cesspool. It's a gutter.
yeah,
It's a place for you
Yeah.
to say things you would never say to somebody's face. That's what Twitter
yeah.
is.
Oh, hi Benon.
Look,
How are you
I've just
doing?
been silent because I don't really have an opinion. So I believe everyone can say whatever the hell they please. I don't think she should have lost a job
Yeah.
by saying something stupid. I think that's an overreaction. I thought there was freedom of speech, particularly in America. Doesn't appear that way, but you know, you're always gonna alienate an audience when you come out with something. I could say I don't like.
Yep.
What do you got behind you, Scott? Red Wings. And half the audience is going to be, well, I do like
Yeah.
the Red Wings, you know?
All right, I'm hanging out.
Should
You're
I,
out.
should, I
You're leaving.
lose, should I lose the privilege for me to say that just because I don't like the Red Wings? No.
No. And I think that's the
Yeah.
problem that we have in society in general right now is that people should be able to have their opinions. I think the difference is we didn't have as many people having access to sharing their opinions until social media came along. So there's more people that are saying, you know, if you believe this thing, then you're an idiot. And then the other person saying, no, you're an idiot because you don't believe the way I believe. Again, that's the problem is no one's willing to go, oh, they believe that? Okay, well, good for them.
But the difference,
I don't believe
with
that.
what she did and the consequence was like someone on YouTube could have made the exact same comment and that would have just been, oh, they're trolling. And no one would have said anything about it. But
Yeah.
she lost her
Yeah.
entire career.
Yeah, if it was in the comments, for
it
sure.
just seems-
Yep.
I mean, and the thing is that she wasn't wrong. I mean,
she
what
might
she
have been
said
right.
was
Who-
kind of funny. Like,
Yeah,
it actually.
but the
was
thing
funny.
is, you could say
It
someone
wasn't, and it didn't.
that black person, and suddenly, oh, you're a racist because you said that they're black.
Yeah.
Well, they are black. Like I'm just using
Fat.
my
What about a
eyesight
fat
to
person?
identify the person that's not the white person
Yeah.
because they're and suddenly that's wrong. Like it seems so utterly ridiculous.
Well, yeah, like black.
The guy wearing the hat.
a
No,
black-
you can't
yeah.
say that.
Like black shouldn't be
You're
associated with
outruling
bad.
anyone
Like
that
don't
doesn't
go
have to wear a
bad.
hat.
Yeah.
Like remember when I was on that cruise ship? I was on that cruise ship and I was going upstairs, and I was really tan, like red, like dark because we were at Fiji, and this girl says to me like, "Man, you're really dark," and I'm like, "No, I'm black," because I was gonna say I'm Danny Black, and there was a black woman that walked. She was on the other side. She goes, "Excuse me," before I could say Danny Black, and I'm like, "No." I'm like, I'm not racist. Like, you just made me look
it's
racist.
So stupid.
Like,
It's so stupid.
and first of all, why is saying that I'm black being a bad thing? Why are you taking that in a bad way? Like, it's like if I said black, I could be saying that's the best. Like I'm a fast runner, or, you know, like I don't understand why it has to go to a
everybody
negative
gets
place
offended by
when you say
everything.
things like
Just
that. So,
relax.
Yeah, we're too sensitive.
much. It's too
Everybody's
much.
too sensitive.
It just looks stupid.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe your new show should be Hey We're White.
You should just call it, hey, it's too much. And then you talk about all the stuff that's too much. Or, hey, I'm offended. There's a title.
That's
hey, I'm
actually a good-
offended.
That's a good one right there. Oh man,
Hey,
yeah,
I'm
I could go all
offended.
day. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm sorry. We need to wrap this up only because of the files that we're recording on are going to be. Way
I know
too
you're
big
going to
be
get
able
like
send out.
a 10
So,
gig video file from me.
Yeah, so let's wrap this up, Scott. Actually, we'll say goodbye with you. We usually have our guests leave and we talk about them, but
We know you so
thanks
well
for being
now.
on the show.
Okay.
And you have to tell us right now: are you going to do July or not? And then that way we can tell people to go check it out.
Maybe.
Well, if he does, I'll put a link down in the bottom. You can
I
go
got to
check
get
that
better
out.
lighting. I'm looking at myself in my video, and I'm like, I look like the death warmed over. Go ahead.
That's all right. So check out Scott on his individual channel, which we'll put link down below, and check out Hey We're Talking, and just give him some love and support, and listen to a couple of their episodes. They're pretty funny. And Benon from
My
Gives a
pleasure.
Minute, thanks for being here, and thanks for watching, and join our Facebook group. Check out the description for everything else, and write a comment and let us know that you made it this far in the video, and just be like, what should they say in
I'm
the comment?
offended.
It's too
I'm
much.
offended.
I'm offended
Right,
by
I'm
everything. I wake up in the morning
Look
and
at
it
the
offends me. The whole thing offends me. Looking out the window,
Say
the weather
everything
offends
offends me
Having
in the
breakfast
comment.
cereal that gets soggy, that offends me. The whole thing offends me.
All right, and we're out.